All right. Well, it sounds like you guys want to take about a month off after the somewhat harrowing but informative events of the session. What do you want to do with that time with Savion?
Well, I think the very first thing I need to do is head to Mentors and take a look at that book, or look for the Overcoming Wards book that the girl from the other shore told me about.
Okay. So, Mentors is the largest library in Satyrine. It's not in Fartown. It's completely across town. It's in a place called Mentors Square. Technically, it is below Mentors Square. It's the whole library is underground, and once you get down there, it's just vast. It just stretches.
Cool.
You're having difficulty finding the ends of the hallways of the stacks of books, and there are multiple levels that keep going down, and you in fact hear other people talking in the library as you're down there browsing books and whatnot. That supposedly there are people who went down into Mentors and got lost.
Mm-hmm.
And these people have, way down deep in the library, have gathered together and formed like a tribe. And because they're so lost that they'll never find their way back out. And they call themselves, or their descendants call themselves, the people of the stacks.
Oh, God. Cool.
But there are many librarians and mentors who can potentially help you find books.
I will approach one of those
Okay.
and make known my desire to find the book called Overcoming Wars.
Okay. Not familiar with that title. Let's look in the card catalog. And they go and access this equally vast catalog of tomes, and takes quite a while. But the librarian finds, this one, I don't think anyone's laid eyes on this book in probably a generation. You're going to have to go pretty deep. Do you know about the people of the stacks?
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. So how do I avoid that fate?
Well, why don't you stick with me? And I know my way around pretty well. I don't mind going down there with you, and I also know some of them. And I can talk to them. I know how to deal with them.
Okay.
All right. So the two of you descend down deep into the bowels of this library. Draw a suit card. It's the Eternal Mountain, which Mentors kind of is, only in reverse. And it's a 4. So it takes you guys quite a while. You descend down deep into the bowels of this library. At this point, the library doesn't have any of its own internal lighting, and so the librarian has to go and activate an etheric lantern and is leading you through the stacks, and you're passing by some of these strange kind of almost monuments that like someone seems to have built, almost like works of art out of books. And he just points at one of those and he says, "The people of the stacks."
Oh.
And he guides you around that. He says, "Yeah, don't disturb it."
Okay. I'm curious to see what books they've defiled to do this with, but I listen to them.
Okay. Doesn't look like the books have actually been defiled,
Defaced, I mean.
right? They're just piled in strange ways, but the books themselves haven't been hurt. All right, so eventually he leads you down, and he shows you where this book is, and there are indeed some, you can see farther down the corridor in between these massive bookshelves that you need a ladder to reach the various heights of these stacks. There's some people down the hallway, and they wear clothing that looks like it's made out of book pages that have kind of all been sewn and stitched together, and they, on their shoulders and on their heads you see book covers. And they look at you with a bit of trepidation, and the librarian kind of makes a hand gesture. they kind of nod and recede into the darkness as he produces overcoming wards. Blows the dust off of it. And he says, here's the book you're looking for.
All right. Can I study it up higher?
That would be best, I think. Yes, good idea. Good idea. So he, gives you, takes you back up into the lit, more open parts of the library, still all underground, but seems much less sort of labyrinthine up here, where there's more steady carols and whatnot. And you can take as much time as you need to learn this. And you wanted to also time to study another secret too.
I did. I wanted to learn the sight, which allows me to recognize entities, if they're Vizsla or a demon or other weird entities by sight.
Okay.
Or at least the possibility of being able to do that by seeing their glows.
Okay.
And that's a level 2 secret.
Okay. You can also find what you need here in this library for that as well.
Cool.
The secret for overcoming your father's ward.
This is a secret as well.
It is.
Okay.
And it is a level 4 secret.
Cool.
So that will also take some more time for you to learn. But there is a catch. In order to overcome the wards that your father has, you need to have something that has been in his possession recently, some object you can hold in one hand.
Okay. All right. Need possession. All right. Thanks. I mean, that's right. Cool. All right. Let's work on that.
All right. And to be clear, only you will, because only you know the secret. Only you will be able to overcome any friends or allies you have with you will be facing those wards.
Oh, okay. I probably should let them know about that.
All right. Cool. All right. So I hear after the harrowing events of the last session, you'd like to study some spells.
I do. I've learned a lot in the last few sessions, so I'd like to probably go to. I have a couple spells in mind,
Okay.
But where should I go to learn them?
So there's a place called Grimm's Granary that will get issued a card that looks a lot like that. And it is a place where it's full of spell books.
Mm-hmm.
All the spell books are chained to the wall so that you can't actually leave with them.
Mm-hmm.
They charge a small fee per day that you spend there. But you can sort of settle in with a number of other Vizsla and spend what probably amounts to be about a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Studying new spells. So let's just take a look at a sooth card here just for the heck of it. Oh, it's a 9.
Hey.
That's a great card. It's the Looming Shade. I think that came up in last session.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're there, you're studying and you're learning a lot. A woman comes over to you. She's very tall, has a very sort of almost regal bearing to her. She's dark skinned, she's bald, and she has a dove on one shoulder and a raven on the other. And she comes over, she says, "You look thirsty." And she brings you some water. And she says, "I've noticed you've been in here the last few days. What are you studying?"
Oh, all sorts of things. Thank you for the water. One can never... You see, I'm a member of the Order of Honed Thought, and we always seek to improve ourselves.
How fascinating. And she says, "May I?" And she...
Sure, I'm suspicious, but I'm curious more.
She sits down and she says, "My name is Faye Nataris." "And you are?"
I'm the Cicatrix. Pleasure to meet you.
"Very nice to meet you. Now, the Order of Home Thought, I've heard of them, but I don't know much about them. Please, tell me more."
Well, and I launch into this very well-rehearsed speech about how we are, I'm an apostate, and we let people really follow their own paths in seeking out new truths, and how it's actually, you may have heard of us in the past, and you may have heard that we've fallen on hard times, but it really is getting a new breath of fresh air and fresh young minds, and we're bringing together many different kinds of people who are all seeking their own secrets.
That is fascinating. Where could I learn more about this?
Well, I come by our, we have salons that we have, wine and cheese mixers. There's a number of events. I give her the next, event that probably 1 or 2 people come to usually, but I talk it up.
Okay. So she seems very interested. She takes any information that you'll give her, and then she says, "And what are you studying today?"
Well, I've been intrigued by divination. I haven't studied it very much in the past, but I think it just has so many different kinds of utility, especially for those of us who are always seeking the next secret or information. So I was trying out this book on divination and dream spells.
Oh, dreams! I find dreams very fascinating. I should learn more about dreams. I'm gonna go find some books on dreams, she says, and dream magic. And she gets up. She's gone for 15 or so minutes. Brings back a chained book to the thing. It's on some other dream spell, and she says, "You're right. This is fascinating." So over the next few days, you kind of you get to know Thea a little bit more. She's very gregarious. She's very friendly, but she's also very mercurial. Like you get the feeling that she spends a lot of time here studying. But she's always fascinated with what other people are studying, and then she studies a little of that, and then she meets someone else new. You watch as she goes and talks to someone else. Oh, what are you studying? She says it. But it does seem like it allows her to know a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I probably, if I'm noticing that, then I think I'm at a point in my studies where I'm always trying to figure out what aspects of magic I'm neglecting unintentionally, right? You're always trying to overturn the rock that hasn't been turned over before. So I may try to strike up a conversation about her with, you seem to know a lot about lots of different fields of study. Are there any that you've noticed are particularly rare or people don't usually study them? Are there any spells you know of I might want to look into for myself?
She says, well, right now, thanks to this wonderful gentleman that I was speaking to over here, what I'm really interested in is meta magic.
Ooh.
Magic that affects other magic. That's really caught my eye at the moment. And I found this interesting spell over here, and she begins telling you about it.
Yeah. Does it feel like she's hiding a lot of herself from me, or is she is she kind of an open person?
She seems pretty open.
Okay.
And seems pretty honest and very knowledgeable, but also somewhat mercurial. But she does seem to have a because of her nature, she seems to kind of know right where to look for a particular kind of spell or magic or whatever. It doesn't take her long. If you mention a topic, it doesn't take her long before she is dragging over a book about that topic.
Oh, interesting. Then there's one thread of sort of a lead of magic that I don't know that many people have pursued that I might ask about, that I may have heard from one of my colleagues at the Order of Hone Thoughts, or it's in one of the journals of one of our members. And it's magic having to do with the Black Cube, an item of legend.
I've heard of the Black Cube. Yes, you call it from the dark. Oh, fascinating. And there's sometimes treasures inside, right? Excellent.
For those adept enough to unearth its secrets.
She says, that sounds really interesting. I would be very interested to learn more about that. Do you know where we can find such information? Because if you don't, I can make some inquiries and come back to you.
I think that would probably be best. I think my information is very spotty. There's little references in it of old journals, but
I'm very fortunate that I know a lot of people who know a lot of things.
Yes.
So
I'd love to hear what you find.
I'll meet you back here, and maybe we can track down this Black Cube magic.
I'd love that.
Okay, Sean. So we had an event-filled, kind of harrowing session. What do you want to do in the month or so we've got between sessions?
I would like to work on learning the Firesight spell. It's level 2.
Okay. Probably would go to a place like Grimm's Gramarye for something like that. But it's easily studied. You can do that in less than a week.
Okay, great. I'll also, there's a Fire Mage Secrets. It's level 3.
Cool. Again, just a matter of time and whatnot. There'll be a little bit of expense and fees to get at these books and whatnot, but other than that, it's not a problem.
Okay. Also, like I said, I want to team up with Incalia and make a sword here that I can use.
Oh, right. It's, again, probably going to take at least a good week of your time and then even more of her time.
Okay.
You'll have to work that out with her.
Right. And the last is, just because I'm feeling guilty about the ever-dying goddess and stuff, I want to spend some time in my neighborhood helping out some underprivileged people or like healing people, anything that I can do just to kind of better the lives of the people in my neighborhood.
Cool. So I know you don't have your notes in front of you, but do you remember what? So you have a very helpful, almost suspiciously helpful neighbor, if I remember.
And the crazy pet person on the other side.
Right. So I'll draw a sooth card. It's Dangerous Elixir, and it's only a 1. So maybe you find that that next door neighbor that you've got with all the different interesting menagerie creatures, needs some help dealing with a particularly troublesome creature. It's this serpent-like creature, but somehow it is able to take like short hops of a teleport. So it's really hard to keep it contained, and it's a she, right? That it's a woman who has. Yeah, she's having trouble keeping. She comes over and asks for you come offering help. And she will take you up on that. But unfortunately, while you spend like the whole day trying to help her come up with some way to keep this weird teleporting snake under wraps, it gets away.
All right. Well, I apologize, and I'll tell her.
She says, but thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate you trying. I just, I don't know how we could possibly keep something like that from getting away.
Well, I can look into what sort of creature this is and what people who catch them do.
Yes, it's a native of one of the half-worlds that exists off of Indigo.
Okay, I'll do some research about that.
Cool, well, thank you very much. And, for your trouble, I was just going to offer you a nice plate of cookies and some tea.
I would love a cookie and some tea.
All right, excellent.
Okay, and then I will follow up and try and at least get her some notes on what to do if she finds a creature like that again.
Okay, that probably takes you a day or maybe a day and a half of tracking down some more library books and whatnot.
All right.
All right, cool.
Cool, thanks.
Mm-hmm.